Hello everybody and welcome to the United Stand. This is your latest Manchester United transfer news, where we talk about all the latest Manchester United transfer news and give it that real fan opinion. And I'm going to fly straight in with something I read in the Manchester Evening News last night, where the Manchester Evening News understands that Manchester United could sign up to 6 more players after Wan-Bissaka. And those 6 players that have been named are Bruno Fernandes and Sean Longstaff, who appear to be the 2 midfield targets that they say we are interested in. After those, Tielemans, James Maddison, Christian Eriksen, Issa Diop. So interesting, isn't it? Will we sign any of those players? I think these Sean Longstaff rumours just won't go away. And I've spoken to a few people who are like me, just very interested in transfers. And they're like, I don't think there's anything in it. And I just think there is. I think we are really in for Sean Longstaff. And it's a very interesting signing, but it just needs to be maybe the 3rd midfield signing if we sign 2 decent midfielders. But before we come back to that, I just want to talk about Koulibaly. As you'll see on the right-hand side there, look, Manolas is going to Napoli. Now, thank God, I thought he might be coming to United because he's a Mino Raiola client. He's available for 32 million quid. So Manolas is going to Napoli. Does that open the door for Koulibaly to leave Napoli? But then you've got Ancelotti sort of jokingly saying, if Koulibaly is sold, I'm not going back for pre-season training. And it was Ancelotti who in May said that Koulibaly will be a Napoli player next season. So Ancelotti is obviously very invested in having Koulibaly in his team, and he's very passionate about that. But to be honest with you, I thought, so what? So what? Imagine if Ole Gunnar Solskjaer had said this. Well, he more or less did say he expected Paul Pogba to be here next season. That's what he said in April, didn't he? So Solskjaer says Pogba's going to be a player next season. Solskjaer says I'm not coming back for pre-season if Pogba's sold. But that's irrelevant in many ways. Yeah, you can force a player to stay, but Paul Pogba's come out and said he wants a new challenge. Koulibaly has come out after his game for Senegal at the weekend and said, I don't want to, I don't know what my future's going to be. Well, you do know what your future's... I mean, look, most transfers, you can figure them out just by scratching the surface. And it's like that foil you used to get on a scratch card. It's very easy to unveil what's underneath it. If Ancelotti's saying that Koulibaly will be a Napoli player next season and he doesn't want to sell him, but Koulibaly's saying I don't know what's going to happen next season, you don't need to be a brain surgeon to figure out that Koulibaly wants to leave Napoli, because his manager said he'll be there next season and he wants him to be there next season. So all Koulibaly's got to say is, yeah, I'm happy at Napoli, that's where I'll be. There's no uncertainty. When he says, I'll see what happens when I go to Napoli, all they're going to say to him is, you're staying, we want you here. So it's him who's basically, if you get what I mean, He's throwing up the uncertainty. And if he is throwing up the uncertainty, then Napoli have got a problem. And Ancelotti can not come back and stay in Benidorm as long as he likes. If Koulibaly pushes it, that deal becomes possible. And we spoke about this in May. If the player pushes it, United's job becomes, the door opens. If the player doesn't push it, the door will be slammed shut, locked, padlocked, the lot. But if Koulibaly pushes that door a bit, United might be able to get in. But it's all on Koulibaly. And I think Koulibaly does want to go. He does want to go. He's changed his agent. He signed a 4 or 5 year contract back in September and then changed his agent. Why would you do that? You've got the big contract you want. Why would you do that? He ain't getting a new contract out of Napoli, is he? He's not manoeuvring for a new contract out of Napoli because they've just bloody given him one. He's offering up the uncertainty because I believe he wants to go. And United need to push that, really push that, because if you bring a quality centre-back like that into the club, with Wan-Bissaka on the right-back position and Luke Shaw, Lindelof and Koulibaly with De Gea, that suddenly becomes, you're starting to battle against like Liverpool there for the best defence in the league. So, look, Manchester United need to be pushing that door as hard as they can. And it's very similar to Pogba. If Napoli have that problem with Koulibaly to some extent, we've got the same problem with Pogba. How much is he going to push that move out of Manchester United? Because we can say he's going to stay and we can force him to do it, but if he forces it out, you've got to let them go. So very interested by that. Also, just on Pogba very, very quickly, reports from Spain saying that, look, they want Pogba. Juventus obviously are in for Pogba, but Real Madrid want Pogba. They are looking at alternatives, but they're confident they can get a deal done and they want to get it done quick. So look, for all the positivity about what we're going to talk about players coming in, let's be aware that Pogba situation does need to be resolved, and it does need to be resolved quickly. He is there to go on the tour. He is there to come back pre-season training next Monday. Next week's a big week for Manchester United, and the ramifications of it are very, very big. And those ramifications obviously fall into the midfield. As you can see, you've got Yuri Tielemans below. Very quiet around Yuri Tielemans at the moment. Why is that? Well, actually, the best update you can get on Tielemans is to go and look at Leicester. I was reading a local Leicester paper this morning, and they were saying that the reason Leicester are not doing anything in the transfer market is because their number one target is Yuri Tielemans, and if they don't get him, they've got to change to other targets. If they do get him, then they've got a plan for where else they want to look at. But it's gone very quiet with him. Maybe he's on holiday, maybe he's not. But I personally believe that Yuri Tielemans is waiting to see if there is a better offer, as his is right. I think he'll happily go to Leicester from Monaco, but I think if a top 6 club in England comes in for him, he'll go there. Who's a top 6 club? Manchester United, just. And United, do United want Tielemans? I don't know. I think Bruno Fernandes is the priority signing, as I've known for a while and as many of you know. But I think Tielemans does become an option for United if Pogba is not going to be at the football club. But I personally think Tielemans should be an option anyway. But Tielemans is more... Bruno Fernandes is a midfielder, but he's more of an attacking midfielder. Tielemans is a midfielder, but he's more of an attacking midfielder. So actually, all those people who say, yeah, let's get Tielemans and Fernandes, well, if Pogba stays, you've got 3 attacking midfielders there, and your balance breaks up a bit, because we do need somebody a little bit more defensive-minded as well, which Fernandes is. He can do it, but it's not really his game, and Tielemans can do it, but I think he's more progressive as well. So that may be why United are waiting. And I would hope that United have said to Tielemans' representatives, we want you, we've just got to sort this Pogba thing out. And then if we keep him, we say, we don't want you anymore. But I think that may be what's happening there. I mean, James Maddison, some people talking about Maddison again yesterday. What you've got to bear in mind is that Leicester have got Harry Maguire that we might want. Leicester have got James Maddison that we might want. If we take Tielemans, they're going to bloody give us those players, are they? But you might be able to say you can have a free run at Tielemans if we get Maguire. The politics of how this works is quite interesting. But then again, Harry Maguire's got to want to come to Manchester United. I think there are less players at Leicester I would like. I would like Ndidi. I would like Ndidi. James Maddison's a decent player. I would much prefer Bruno Fernandes over him, and I think that's where United will try and go first. But James Maddison's not going to be cheap. He's only had 1 year at Leicester, and I put 60 million down there, but I think they might want a bit more. And to be honest with you, I think he probably does need another year in the Premier League anyway. So I'm not saying I'd swerve James Maddison. I just don't think United will make that move for him. Although he fits the profile of young English player that we seem to have a bit of an obsession with, I don't think that's where we'll go. I do think we'll be looking at Bruno Fernandes, but we do need a midfielder that's got a little bit more defensive acumen to their game. And to be honest with you, and this is only a personal look, I mean, you go back to that list that the Manchester Evening News was talking about, and you've got Maddison, attacking midfielder, Eriksen, attacking midfielder, Fernandes, attacking midfielder, Longstaff, only played 5 games for Newcastle, we don't know, Diop, centre-back, Tielemans, more of an attacking midfielder. So I look at that and I think, where's the more defensive-minded player? I mean, Ander Herrera, he had the ability to play a defence-splitting pass, but he was more of a tenacious tackler. Where's the replacement for that? Because Fred, actually, if Fred's going to get game time next season, he's more of an attacking midfielder. So you can sort of see why, when everyone's saying, well, let's get Tielemans, let's get Fernandes, let's go and get another, Maddison. They're all more attacking midfielders, which is what Fred is. We do need somebody, especially to replace Herrera, who's got some more tenacity and tackling to their game. Which is why my mind and eyes always want, and there's plenty out there. There's so many players out there. There's so many players that we haven't even spoke of. There's probably people playing for like German teams and French teams who are, really athletic, can break the ball up, play simply and give it to the better players. That's what we want. I mean, basically, we want a CDM who is quick across the ground, tenacious, breaks the ball up, gets a tackle in and feeds the players in front of them. And you can maybe find someone like that in France or Spain or Germany for 20 million, 30 million. That's the sort of player we want. Don't have to be a big name, but a name that I always come to is Thomas Partey. And again, it's gone very quiet around him. He is playing in the AFCON at the moment, but even GhanaNet, which is a website, are talking about United fans demand Partey. That's all you see. United fans demanding him. And as an Atletico midfielder, most of his games he's playing box-to-box as a midfielder. But actually, his strength, he doesn't get many goals and he doesn't get many assists. His strength is his tenacity, his tackling, and his interceptions. That's what he's very, very good at. So he, for me, would be ideal for Manchester United to bring in. If you were going to make 2 midfield signings, Fernandes and Thomas Partey would fit us like a glove. A very, very snug, tight glove. One where you can put your gloves on and still work your phone. Really nice, keep you warm, tight gloves. And that's what Partey and Bruno Fernandes would. Whether we're in for Thomas Partey, I don't know. But that's the sort of player we need. Somebody who is quick across the ground, can get their foot in, break the play up, but he's also good on the ball. I think he'd be great. And he wouldn't necessarily play the CDM role. I think he could do it. But he could play, in a midfield three or a diamond. I think he'd be very, very good for us. But yeah, look, we're going to have to see what happens. Hopefully this Wan-Bissaka deal, the one thing it does do, it means United aren't spending the last 3 weeks negotiating with Crystal Palace anymore. They've got to put their eyes onto something else. So where those eyes go next, I'm expecting some big developments in the next 48 hours from all these Sky Sports, BBC sources as to where United's eyes are going to go next. We know that we normally only work on one deal at a time. Are we going to work on the Lukaku deal? Are we going to work on Pogba, trying to get him in? Are we going to look at another signing? Hopefully it's going to be another signing. So I think we'll get some developments for the Transfer Daily Show tomorrow on that. Tielemans, Longstaff, Leicester players, Ancelotti, Lukaku, Pogba. Oh, there was something on Pogba that was quite interesting, that Adidas, Juventus might need Adidas to help them get Pogba. But Adidas is our sponsor, so I don't know what that's all about. Mark is saying that there's a gap between what Madrid want to pay for Pogba and what we want. I'm sure there is. And Lukaku, you may be forced to stay. I was reading this yesterday. I think it's more about threatening Inter Milan, really. I think United have been offered players by Inter Milan that they don't want, whether that's right or wrong. I would take Icardi, as you know. I'd try and get Skriniar. I don't think we can do that, to be fair. But United digging their feet in for money, and as is their right again. And I think that there is this, if we don't get the money, we'll make him stay. I think that's bad for everybody. Look, we can all go into a panic and say, oh, we can't have Lukaku playing next season. And I think it's important that we don't. But on the other hand, it's not fair on Lukaku. I don't think Lukaku wants to be here. So I think there will be a conclusion with this Lukaku deal. And however happy we are as Manchester United fans, I can understand why Conte wants Lukaku, because he does score goals. He scores goals for Belgium. He scored goals in the Premier League for West Brom, Everton and us. He does score goals. He's not a flop. The reason United fans want rid of him, mainly, is because he doesn't fit in with how we want to play football. He's got no first touch and he's a flat track bully. But that might suit Inter Milan. It doesn't suit us. That's what it's all about. Lukaku does frustrate. And I'm sure he's a bit annoyed that he's having to leave United. But realistically, if we cut through all the banter, the reason United fans want him to go is because the way he plays football, it's not easy on the eye to the way we want to play football. But he could be a very good signing for Inter Milan. So hopefully there will be a conclusion to that, because you don't want to keep a player that wants to move. We don't want to keep a player that doesn't fit in the way we want to play either. So I think there will be a conclusion to that Lukaku deal. I'm not scared by the fact that we might keep him if we don't get money. I think we will find a way out for Lukaku, which is good. Anyway, please do smash a like on the video. I'm going to go to Football Index because we've not done it for a while. So link in the video description if you want to have a go on Football Index. It's the football stock market game where you can buy shares in real life players. You must be over 18 years of age, and please do gamble responsibly if you are going to give it a go. As you can see, Bruno Fernandes is right near the top of the top 200 at the moment. So the way this works is you buy shares in players, their price goes up, and if you look, I would go in with a minimum of 20 quid so that you can get a decent amount of shares. So if you went in 20 quid with Bruno Fernandes, you could get yourself, well, you get 10 shares for £25.50, wouldn't you? As those shares go up, your profit goes up. Unlike a traditional bet, if you bet 20 quid that Bruno Fernandes is going to Liverpool and he doesn't, and you lose that 20 quid, it's gone. With Football Index, when you put your money into the shares of a player, that price will go up and down. And of course the price can go down, but you'll see it go down, and instead of losing your full 20 quid, you lose a few pence, you sell your shares, you go and invest in someone else and get your money back that way. So Bruno Fernandes, as you can see, he is shooting up over the last month from £2 a share to around £2.50 a share, and I would imagine it will continue to go up. So much so, if you look at my portfolio, I'm currently in profit for 360 quid. I've been doing this since January, and I need to do a little bit better actually, but 360 quid over about 6 months isn't too bad, is it? So a lot of my players that I have are players that I think will move this summer. That's why a lot of them are all in profit at the moment. And Dembele, Icardi, Bergwijn, Koulibaly. Bruno Fernandes, I was meant to buy 10 shares and I bought 193. So I have made nearly 70 quid off him, and it's still going to go up because he's a player that's going up in value. Because at the moment, the way prices go up is if a player does well on the pitch, obviously there's no games at the moment, but if a player does well in relation to stories and transfers, their price will fluctuate that way. So link in the video description for that. As you can see, in the top 200 trading players at the moment, price-wise, Milinkovic-Savic is moving up because PSG wants him. Donny van de Beek, of course. I don't know why Mbappe is moving up. Jadon Sancho is moving a little bit. So if you fancy a go at that, if you like football Ultimate Team on FIFA, or you like Fantasy Premier League, you'll probably enjoy that. Remember, you've got to be over 18. Please do gamble responsibly. Thanks, everybody, for watching. The link in the video description to Football Index. Hopefully, we will be back again live at some point today with some more developing Manchester United news. I think maybe we'll be doing the official video for Wan-Bissaka at some point today, so we'll get some quotes from him. 8 o'clock tonight as well. Thanks, everyone, for watching. Speak to you all soon. Get your comments in below about everything we've discussed. Where are we going next? Will it be a centre-back, a midfielder, a right winger, a striker? Let's wait and see.